Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. You can also find us on all your favorite social media platforms. So much happened in 2025 at the Disney theme parks. There were many new shows, attraction reimaginings, bars, and some big announcements. On Instagram and in the community tab, I asked all of you to weigh in on the best and worst at the Disney theme parks this year. So thanks to your suggestions, let's count down the top 10 best to worst of the Disney theme parks in 2025. Number 10. We're going to start the list off with the best and make our way down to the worst. So with an overwhelmingly positive response, Test Track's Reimagining was voted as the best of 2025, and I have to agree. The ride opened on July 22nd, and after a year-long refurbishment, Imagineers truly knocked it out of the park. It feels like a classic Epcot attraction filled with tons of edutainment. It starts right here in the queue with the exhibits showcasing the evolution of automotive technology. I love that they uncovered all the windows in here, as well as the window by the seatbelt check. Now, when it comes to the physical ride, Imagineers did such a great job of combining digital effects and physical sets to tell the story. Imagineers even incorporated smells into the ride, like pine as you make your way through the winding roads in the forest, and then burning rubber during that close call with the semi-truck. What I found the most impressive, though, were the amount of physical sets compared to the previous version of the ride. These definitely heightened the entire experience. One standout wow moment that wasn't a physical set has to be the scene before you're propelled outdoors. Now, I know projections are sometimes a touchy subject, but Test Track uses them in such a tasteful and effective way.
By using advanced cameras and sensors, vehicles are constantly scanning the road ahead, helping to prepare us for any surprises.
In the most recent breakdown video, I featured some clips of this LiDAR scene with the lights on, and it's amazing to see how such bland spaces are turned into something so immersive. If I'm being honest, Test Track 2.0 was never my favorite ride, but now with this refurbishment, it's definitely back on my must-do list at Epcot. Number 9. Another 2025 edition that received an overwhelmingly positive response was Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After at Hollywood Studios. The show opened on May 27th, replacing Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, and it is a wickedly fun time.
So what you see is what you get.
As the show takes us into the Magic Mirror's reflective realm, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent take center stage to plead their case on why they are the most misunderstood Disney villain.
That black Peter Pan gets all the attention.
It's a curse to be so famously misunderstood. I suppose you could say that the happily ever after of Princess Aurora was my doing.
It's not quite a musical, but in addition to the opening song, Captain Hook also sings a little ditty, which is definitely one of my favorite parts in the show.
There's the one for Captain Hook, the world's most famous hawk.
It's also really impressive how these massive LED panels transform the entire theater in very clever ways. The show has a lot of different moving parts. What's really fun is that there are 3 possible endings with either Cruella, Maleficent, or Captain Hook winning the most misunderstood Disney villain. The winner is supposed to be based on crowd reaction, and I've gotten to see each villain win at least once. The show is a great time, and it's been packing crowds for all 15 performances every single day. It just shows you how popular the Disney villains really are.
Oh no.
Number 8. The Beacon Barrel over in Adventureland at Magic Kingdom opened on August 29th, and this is another project that Imagineers knocked out of the park. The entire bar is so rich in detail. This level of theming is the sort of thing that we expect with Disney. And when you're inside, it feels like a space that's been around since Pirates opened in 1973. There are so many interactive elements to explore in each room, with surprises around every corner, including Rummy the Parrot. I got a standing spot at the bar, and I just loved seeing him lead some of the interactive story moments.
Crew! Sound the alarm! Mermaids! We got mermaids!
It's very much in the style of Trader Sam's, only here, everyone regardless of age can enjoy the ambiance. Now, not only was the theming top-notch, but the drinks and food were equally as great. My favorites for cocktails were the Hibiscus Rum Punch Royale and the Salty Seas Margarita. When I ordered the margarita, the server made me say it like a pirate. I really did appreciate how far the cast members went in terms of story and immersiveness. It just added to the experience. Then for food, you cannot go wrong with the corn griddle cakes and Kraken's Catch. Honestly, I would get both again, but my favorite was Kraken's Catch. It was just layered with so much flavor. Oh, and even the non-alcoholic choices were great, especially the Treasure Trove, which comes with a vanilla cake pop bar. Getting a reservation can be a bit tricky, but if you book as soon as the 60-day window opens up, you should not have a problem. Number 7. One surprise from all the responses was the mention of the Tron Aries overlay at Magic Kingdom. But the more I think about it, the more it deserves to be on this list. On September 15th, Tron Lifecycle Run received a limited-time overlay to celebrate the release of Tron Aries. They switched everything on the ride from blue to red, and it really heightened the entire experience. It begins at the launch with the addition of a brand new voiceover.
I am Master Control and have taken over. Your new directive, spread my code throughout the grid. Do so or be derezzed. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
Then as you race the red light cycle, you'll weave through red and orange light trails along to a new soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails. I absolutely loved this overlay, and dare I say I prefer this over the normal ride. The experience just feels a little more complete. There has been no announcement in regards to when the overlay will end, but I really hope it's more than just a limited time experience. Now, would you be in favor of keeping the overlay permanently? Comment below. Number 6. Another great thing that 2025 delivered was The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure at Disney Hollywood Studios. The show also opened on May 27th with a brand new set design, costumes, puppets, and songs. The entire production is a true technological upgrade to the previous voyage of The Little Mermaid. I mean, in this show, Ariel even swims. I just love that this time, though, the story is told in chronological order with the addition of Daughters of Triton and Kiss the Girl, plus all the other songs from the original show. The sets and costumes are very vibrant, and Under the Sea is such a show-stopping number. I really appreciated that Disney composed original orchestrations of the songs that aren't just ripped from the movie. It adds a bit more pizzazz, plus I have to mention all the skilled puppetry in this new show. From Ariel's fin to swimming fish in Under the Sea, flamingos and frogs in Kiss the Girl, and an updated Ursula puppet, the show is full of so much puppetry life. It feels so fresh and new. It's become another one of my must-dos, so if you're a fan of The Little Mermaid, you're not gonna wanna miss this show. Number 5. We cannot look at 2025 and not talk about Disneyland's 70th anniversary celebration. Quite a few of you mentioned it, and I agree, the 70th was a lot of fun. The Celebrate Happy theme song that played across the resort was super catchy, and you heard it everywhere. I know some people weren't crazy about the giant keys to Disneyland, but we actually had a blast exploring the park, trying to find each of the stations. Where the celebration really came to life though was at night, because between both parks, there was quite a bit to see. Over at Disney California Adventure, there was a brand new version of World of Color called World of Color Happiness. Here, the characters from Inside Out took us through a kaleidoscope of emotions, following some pretty epic moments from Disney films. My favorite part, though, was the Muppet Pre-Show, which captured their humor so well. We definitely need more Muppets. The epitome of the anniversary celebration was Tapestry of Happiness on the facade of It's a Small World. It featured so many tributes to park-specific attractions, past and present, honoring their place in Disneyland history. I feel like these milestone celebrations need to do more of this instead of hitting us with the same Disney films over and over. We want to celebrate Disneyland with things that actually celebrate the park. Now, one entertainment offering from the 70th that kept getting mentioned was the return of the Paint the Night Parade. Even though Paint the Night originally debuted 10 years ago, it still felt as relevant and enjoyable today. It just felt so right having this parade back at Disneyland. There's nothing quite like the upbeat soundtrack as each of the 8 floats, along with dozens and dozens of performers, light up the parade route. It just gets you in such a great mood, and I'm so glad it's set to return January 30th after the holiday season. Number 4. Another attraction that marked a big milestone at the Disney theme parks in 2025 was the debut of Walt Disney: A Magical Life on Disneyland's actual 70th anniversary. The 17-minute presentation begins with a one-man's dream film, then the curtains pull back to reveal Walt Disney himself. This was the first audio animatronic figure of Walt Disney, and it just happens to be one of Imagineering's most complex humanoid figures to date. One of the most impressive moments is when Walt stands up to speak to the audience.
You know, I was stopped one day when a little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And I had to admit I do not draw anymore.
He is a very impressive figure, but Walt Disney: A Magical Life received a mix of responses as the best and worst of 2025. When the show first debuted, a lot of people said that it didn't really sound like Walt, even though they used archival recordings. They were just cleaned up and processed to sound like audio from 2025 and not from 1960. This processing did get rid of a lot of the grit in Walt's voice, but to be fair, we're only used to hearing Walt Disney speak through microphones from the 50s and 60s. Then, there's been a lot of discourse about whether this actually looks like Walt Disney or not. I will admit though, I don't think the face sculpt is a 100% accurate match. Certain angles look more like Walt than others, but one thing for sure is that his movements are very impressive, especially the hands. You can tell a lot of work went into creating this animatronic. With that said though, I'm very interested to see what kind of updates are made to the figure once the Walt Disney animatronic is added to Carousel of Progress at Magic Kingdom. Number 3. As we get further into the list, we're approaching additions that got mentioned more for the worst of 2025, and one of those things was unfortunately Disney Starlight at Magic Kingdom. On July 20th, the long-awaited nighttime parade made its official debut, and it really does feel like classic Disney. The 9 floats are absolutely stunning with some impressive kinetics and surprises along the way. Float highlights for me are still Coco, Peter Pan, and Whimsy the Train. It's a quintessential finale moment with tons of energy and a great mix of Disney characters. Then there's the soundtrack, which I thought was a nice blend of the old and new. There's parts with that lush orchestral sound that's synonymous with Disney, along with callbacks to the Main Street Electrical Parade. It felt so great having a nighttime parade back at the park, but the major criticism that's constantly been mentioned since its debut was the need for more ground performers. Whether that's dancers or more Disney characters, it just needs to be beefed up a bit. A lot of the dancers that are currently in the parade are very hard to see, but recently Disney did make their first positive change. They replaced the fans used for the Moana dancers with these LED strands, and it looks pretty good. Now the costumes just need some more lights. I think this change signals that more changes could come to Disney Starlight, but the biggest thing would be to add those ground performers. Just imagine Anna and Kristoff added to the front of the Frozen float. Dancing skeletons could lead the Coco unit, the Lost Boys could be with Tinkerbell, and there could even be a couple small whirly units placed throughout the parade as well. The good thing is that the bones of Disney Starlight are solid. There just needs to be some little tweaks for it to be a 10 out of 10 experience.
Oh, Mickey, you've been kissed by Starlight! Just like that!
Number 2. One of the newest attractions at Walt Disney World is Zootopia Better Zootgether at Animal Kingdom. This actually received a tied number of votes for the best and the worst of 2025. When we arrive inside the Tree of Life Theater, we're there for the Zootopia Day watch party. The 9-minute film takes us to a live broadcast which is hosted by a new character named Heidi Howler. Then Officer Clawhauser is chosen as the VIZ who has to fill in for Heidi after she's been blown away. Clawhauser then controls which biomes to switch to. Honestly, the best part of the entire show is the Clawhauser animatronic, and he's really impressive. As for the show overall, I really wanted to love it, but it just wasn't for me. I think it's one of those attractions that skews much younger in terms of tone, and it just feels like it was made for kids and not families. Those are two very different audiences. There are also a lot of inconsistencies, like Clawhauser exists live in the Tree of Life Theater, right? But then he's having a full-on conversation with Nick and Judy, who are in a completely different biome, but they're somehow all able to see each other. A lot of the same special effects from It's Tough to Be a Bug were reused, but I don't think Better Together fits with the Tree of Life and Animal Kingdom. I watched it 6 times so I could film the multi-angle video, and after every show, I'd kinda linger to listen to what others would say. I heard many comments about people's distaste for the show, mixed with adults saying it was cute, but in a way that they were unsure. Honestly though, I never heard one kid say anything about the show, which is so much different than all the times I watched the Country Bear musical Jamboree. Every time I've left the theater, I would hear so many kids and adults express how they liked the show so much better than the original. I agree that Zootopia Better Together is cute, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Clearly Disney created the show with kids in mind, but do they even like the show? Will it be something they remember and would want to go back and see it again? See, that I'm not sure of. But I know for me personally, if I didn't do that multicam video, I wouldn't have seen the show more than once. Number 1. What was unanimously mentioned as the worst of 2025 were all the closures at Walt Disney World. So far, we've said goodbye to It's Tough to Be a Bug, most of Dinoland USA except for Dinosaur. The rivers of America have been closed and drained, and demo work is already pretty far along, but the one closure you all kept mentioning was Muppet Vision 3D. After running for over 34 years, Muppet Vision 3D played its last show for guests on June 7th. This closure was to make way for the reimagining of Muppet Courtyard into a new Monstropolis land themed to Monsters, Inc. So far, they've already demolished what needs to be demolished, and work is already well underway on the courtyard. Muppet Vision 3D was one of my must-dos at Hollywood Studios, and although the attraction was almost 35 years old, I still thought it held up pretty well. It was very clever Muppet humor with some cheap 3D tricks that worked really well. I do miss the attraction, but I'm glad that the Muppets will still be at the park once they move into Rock 'n' Roller Coaster next year. Prior to closing Muppet Vision 3D, Disney did say that they're exploring ways to preserve the Muppet Vision film as well as other parts of the experience. There has been no word on what this preservation looks like, but they did spend an entire evening filming the attraction. My long-term hope is that Muppet Vision 3D or some other Muppet show will move into Sunset Showcase. Then with Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, this entire area becomes this mini Muppets land. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Muppets. So, in your opinion, what were the best and worst at the Disney theme parks in 2025? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video.